What happened in 1992 as an undergraduate at UCLA fueled my investments in research to try to understand racial inequality and increasingly turn my attention more towards the arts, particularly stand-up comedy.
When the riots happened, we were talking earlier, the first thing I thought about was 65 riots in Watts. Just thinking about the involvement of music in our everyday lives and who are the artists speaking to whatever's going on socially, politically.
On that day, I was at an X-Clan concert, and they literally stopped the show and we started marching. They took the mic and went out. We went down the street at San Francisco State, downtown San Francisco. Folks started looting, actually tearing stuff up, rebelling. The music they were talking about, the sort of the ideas that they were putting out there about Black empowerment, they actually wanted to express that. To me, it was an empowering moment. San Francisco, Oakland, every place has a Rodney King. I realized that hip hop does have the ability to mobilize people and to move people.
If you were born in Oakland in the 70s, there's a consciousness of the city. And all of our parents were in and around Black revolutionary movements, and we inherited that. I remember when '92 hit, we saw what was happening in Los Angeles. Looting in some ways was kind of a way of getting power, a way of literally grabbing back what had been stolen from us. It encouraged me to kind of step into a place that I'm now in. So I'm one of the organizers along with Anthony. We're both members of Black Lives Matter. There was this image of Maxine Waters. So she became really outspoken and all over media. And I remember seeing her and going, I want to be just like that, right? And so for me, '92 really lifted up a contemporary example of a Black woman revolutionary.
The shadow of rebellion and uprising, surrounded me throughout my upbringing. In New York, it was '64, right? And the blackout of the late '70s, all of which were responses to neglect, responses to inhumane treatment, lack of quality health care, education, schools, brutality by the carceral state. The first time I actually heard and learned Latasha Harlan's name was through a Tupac video, Keep Your Head Up, right? It wasn't as if they were talking about her name on the news. And so one of the things I'm particularly interested in, and I have paid attention to since that point, is how certain kinds of urban spaces, especially like Los Angeles, have been hubs for creative vibrations.
Art has a way of speaking directly through your soul or to your soul, right? And kind of bypassing all of this stuff that can be too heavy sometimes.
Any popular culture, I guess, relies on a certain kind of shared take-up of a certain kind of groove. For me in stand-up comedy, that possibility is the moment where a comic says, hi everybody, and you just hear the hum of the microphone. And it's just such a space of possibility, and I revel in that particular moment.
For Kendrick to go in to this type of movement, he's tapping into a frequency that is felt and shared, but even without the music, if somebody starts doing this, you just tap into whatever that is, right? If somebody starts laughing, you start laughing. Through the migration of these gestures, we get it. We instantly connect to the reflection of who they are in their community, the intentions behind the movement.
Black culture has always responded to the sort of the social and the historical moment that Black people are in. The thing about '92 that's really interesting is that there was so much hip hop prior to that moment that was already sort of creating the possibility of people being conscientious. As we move forward to today, it's a lot less normal, right? And I think that's why I think Kendrick Lamar gets so much praise, because he's doing something that a lot of people aren't doing. There's not enough sort of independent art, at least that most people can tap into, where we can see people actually really responding to what's going on today.